G'day scrappers.
Got some oxygen machine action. I peeked in here earlier. I didn't know there was that many. Oh, I saw two. Shoot, that's a whole dumpster full. I saw one, and there's another one in the other dumpster. I was gonna come up here and get them and make a little scrapping video. There's some interesting stuff in there. I did not realize I was dealing with about, there's a gray one over there. It looks like there's about 8 or 9 or 10 maybe. I will relieve these dumpsters of these oxygen machines. Lots of times people ask me what these are. They come out of these oxygen machines. The technical word for them is sieve beds. I'll be showing them to you here shortly in the video, but I get lots of questions about what those are, and this is where they came from. They are filled with these little dudes. See all that? It removes the nitrogen from the surrounding air. The result is approximately 90% pure oxygen. This medical grade oxygen is supplied to the oxygen user. But anyways, so my spacers and my totes are sieve beds that remove nitrogen from the air and provide 90% pure oxygen. That's interesting. I didn't actually know that until just now. I use them as spacers so I can put my second tote in there and it won't get stuck together. You know how like buckets, when you stack buckets, they get stuck together. So I'm gonna put heavy stuff in that second tote that's not there right now. It's basically impossible to get out of there. But anyways, I'm gonna snatch some of these up and scrap them out. This medical equipment, when it's used, it's just trashed. There's nothing they can do with it. So they generally will just toss it. So there's gonna be 9 motors, at least 10 pounds. I might have 100 pounds of electric motors here. And then it's gonna be those aluminum canisters. And then there's gonna be some other little pieces of brass in there. These have been getting manufactured a little different over the years. So I don't think I've actually done these little gray ones before. So we'll see. The newer things are, the more plastic and less brass and metals. We'll see how these are. So there's 2 ways to do this. One is to sit down with the screwdriver, and there might be a safety screw here and there. These gray ones are gonna be, I think they're all screws, so that's nice. There's 2 ways to do it. Sit down with the screwdriver and take all these screws out, or if you're somewhere where you're not going to disturb anyone, you can go like this. Maybe a little quicker as well. That's just scrap metal, right? So you're not gonna hurt anything. That's okay. So the motors are still the same size. Looks like it may be a little smaller. So when a thing like this, when there's a nice big motor in there, I've done videos like this before where I know there's like a plastic stereo or something, and I know there's a big chunky transformer in it. In this case, it's an electric motor. You can use the weight of that motor just to totally destroy the plastic, right? So I think that one was the final blow. Oh, we've got a stubborn piece of plastic here. How you doing to me? You're making me look bad. Those 2 screws there. I'll just get the screwdriver. How about that? Those screws are kind of in a bad place. Kind of defeats the weight of the motor. They're up there in no man's land, right? Alright, hey, that one's interesting. That's definitely new. I've never seen one like that. So obviously that's a lot different than the ones I use for spacers. Of course the wind picks up as soon as I start doing this. I'll try to block the wind with my body. See that little transformer got knocked off there. Okay, scrap item number 1. Okay, so that was a fan smashed to pieces. These used to be made out of aluminum. Now it's made out of plastic. So there's one obvious downgrade. Wait a second. Never mind. That is aluminum. That's a super duper lightweight piece of aluminum. So light I thought it was plastic. Okay. That's a little motor in there. So we're gonna have well over 100 pounds of motor, so that's good. About 25 cents a pound, so we're probably looking at about $30 of motors. Here's the big guy I was talking about. These are going to be the most valuable items in here, and it's good. They're still made out of brass. These are pretty good little motors. See all the copper in there, and that's an aluminum housing, so scrapyard will have no problem giving clean electric motors for that. These used to be on pieces of rubber. Now it's just a metal spring. It used to be a thick, dense piece of wiggly wobbly rubber. So that's definitely different. We might run into some of the older ones over there maybe. There's a little bit of gold plate. A circuit board, not a lot, but that's not a bad circuit board. There it is. See the little sparklies? That is gold plate. Feels like gold plate. Lots of the newer stuff will be gold flashing, but I do believe that is gold plate, and no gold pins on there. Could be some silver plated stuff maybe. Little chips. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tons of plastic waste, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a pile of circuit boards, a pile of motors, a pile of aluminum. This aluminum needs to be cleaned up a little bit to get clean aluminum. Those beads should probably be taken out of there, but I might just take these in the way they are and just get aluminum breakage, because a lot of the weight is in the beads and like that piece of steel right there. So, you know, I might just be spinning my wheels, take that steel rod out of there and empty the cylinders, empty those little beads out of there. You know, I might not gain anything, so, you know, why do that work, right? You know what I mean? I might lose 30, 40, 50% of the weight. So why do work you don't have to do? Okay. So I'm gonna bust through some of these. I'm gonna do the gray ones. I got 3 more of those kind, and probably, oh, that one's different. I'm gonna do these 3 same ones, get those taken care of, and then fire the camera back up. All right, here's another kind. It's very similar motor. If it's not the same motor, actually, I do believe that's the same motor. A little different build. See how it's a little different. That looks more familiar. That's kind of a tiny version of what I got. So I know a lot of people may have already made a comment that these things are like $500 to $1,200 a piece. These are really expensive little machines. So people have probably said, why don't you sell those and reuse them and blah blah blah. But you can't be doing that with medical equipment. You know, on the outside it looks like, yeah, you should reuse it, but I mean, take a look at that. There's a thing with trash picking, dumpster diving. Anything that goes inside the body or on the body, you really have to think more than twice about what you're doing, right? Can you imagine selling that to someone that needs an oxygen machine for health reasons? And that's what you give them right there? Really? You probably kill somebody doing that. These have been sitting in my storage unit for quite a while, so any COVID-19 would be dead by now. There's a more old style. See how much more chunky that is? Like, see that? Here's those new ones. Well, that's not bad. I think most of the weight's in the motor, but that aluminum case is definitely thicker. Okay, so we've got one other kind. I think these blue ones are going to be a lot like this guy here. Those are definitely the more modern manufacturer, I do believe. Could be wrong, I suppose. But these are the ones that I'm used to scrapping out. That one's got a stronger build. Yeah, this is definitely the older model. It's got a steel case, and I didn't show on that first one very well, but these little gray ones, it was a plastic case, went down over like that. So they've changed from steel to plastic, and skimped on the aluminum around the motor. And these are actually a little capacitor in each one too. I didn't show the first time through, but transformer is definitely bigger on this one. And I see gold pins. See the gold pins on the circuit board in there? Definitely more gold plate, without a doubt. And a little bit more brass. See, the other one had brass here. This one here, they did not use brass to connect hoses. They used hoses with steel clamps. And on this one, we've got a lot more brass in here with the zip tie for clamps. So they definitely, the new one's probably a better product as far as cost as well. I don't know about performance, but one thing that's interesting is these used to be rubber. I wonder if these make more noise when they run. The motors used to sit on 4 rubber stands. Okay, let's see what the last ones look like. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I busted open one of the, we call them sieve. I was calling them sieves. Is that how you spell sieve? S-I-E-V-E, 2 silent E's. Sieve, sieve. Oh yeah. So that's a totally different build on there. Different motor for sure. And a little bit different on the sieves, the sieve sieves. And this guy's looking pretty similar. That's the older style aluminum case on that. Yeah, I'm gonna get this job done real quick and show it to you. Got a decent little pile going. These felt like about 10 pounds when I first started. Now I've been working with the scrap. That's feeling closer to 20. Probably 15, 12. These blue ones are definitely the cheapest ones. Look at this. Look at the build on this one. Quiet! I'm making a video. Crazy Hawk. This is the one that broke. The sieve came open or whatever it's called. Look at the build on this one. I didn't even do anything to this motor. It's just sitting on there. That's just sitting on a. You know what? And that shoot. You know what? Actually, things go like that. Wasn't sitting on that. It's sitting on this. Look at that cheap, cheaperton. Cheap. We have found the super cheap. Hey man, can't you see I'm making a video? Took a lot of nerve, bird. Okay, so. Oh, it's actually held on there. There was 2 springs. One here, one here. That's a pretty cheap build. What do you think? Looks like it's got about the same amount of copper in there, but it's a little smaller, a little lighter. It was sitting, that motor was sitting on 2 foam pads, and it was hung by 2 springs. That might have been pretty effective, I suppose. A lot of the weight was on those springs, but it's definitely cheap. Cheapy cheap. This one gets the cheapy cheap award of all of them. So let's see, I don't want to smash that thing anymore than I have to. So, well, you know what? Shoot, that's got nuts. It's gonna require my nut driver. My nut driver is not long enough. So I'm actually starting to run a little short on time. I need to get to the scrapyard, so I'm gonna leave a few pieces behind. Like the build on this one here, it's got an aluminum or a tin cage on it. I can take that to the scrapyard down the street one day, and then I don't feel like wrestling with that thing right now. It's dirty. I'll probably just take that piece to the scrapyard for aluminum breakage a different day. The scrapyard close to me. The scrapyard close to me is closed right now. It's about 4 p.m. so I need to get these last 2 done. Let's see how this one does. Wow, I think might be a bad idea with those kind. Those are cheap. I've never had one out of all these I've ever done. I've never had one break open like that. Both of those blue ones did that, so I think I'm done with that. Shoot, that takes the nut driver too. I'd like to get that motor out of there, but you know what? I think I got enough here. Let's see. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Probably 80 pounds of motors at 25 cents. Plus, I don't want to. I wanted to take all 9 in to see how much they were all worth. I forgot about this one. So I'm gonna leave these dirty ones behind. Plus, this is gonna weigh a lot more and be a lot bigger load than I thought. So no sense in getting dangerous just because I'm making a video. This will be a nice little load, about 130 pounds give or take, probably. See on the receipt, but let's get this one taken care of. I've already taken 2 big loads of plastic to the dumpster. It's amazing we don't make plastic worth something, right? If that was worth 5 cents a pound, I'd take it all to the scrapyard. You know what I mean? That would be one way to help cure the plastic problem. Make it worth some money, make it recyclable. What do you think? Okay. Those are more like the ones I got in my tote. Hey, that's nice. Those are cooperating. Come right off. What do you think about that? La-di-da. Okay, so that one is totally different than the others. Those are little pieces of kind of a flexible styrofoam material. It's sitting in there on springs. None of them had the rubber legs. I wanted to show you the rubber legs, but I see some gold-plated pins in there, and that's not a bad little circuit board. With those circuit boards, it doesn't matter. I mean, you can just ignore those circuit boards. They're not worth a lot of money, but they're not bad to have around for a rainy day. You can send them to boardsort.com. I put the link down to boardsort.com in the description. Those boards are good enough to send to them, but I need to get to the scrapyard, man. I don't got time to mess around. I need to make sure I get this load in today. So I'm going to get this loaded up and swept up real quick. Yeah, I'm pushing my load limit. That might be 150 pounds. What do you think? Sorry about that wind. It wasn't this windy earlier. Hopefully the GoPro 8 the wind cancellation is working pretty good. It usually does, but I'm getting a strong draft blowing down in between these buildings, so hopefully it's not too bad. I do apologize. Okay, so yeah, that's definitely a load. Definitely a load. Okie dokie. I think I had some more transformers in there, didn't I? That's a nice little circuit board there. Look at that. Gold pins. I will take these brass pieces off here. This is how the old ones were. Each one of these used to be on each end, used to be brass. So that was kind of cheaper. and cheap. No brass whatsoever. Just they've actually made that out of the cast aluminum. Look at that. They've actually replaced the brass elbows, and they've just, well, there's got a nut on there. They just built it right into the cast of the aluminum. Look at that. Makes sense actually. Save time, save money, right? As long as it performs this thing, who cares? Your scrapyard might give you a dirty aluminum for these capacitors. Be careful how you hold these capacitors. I've had a handful like that and completed a circuit, I guess is what you'd call it, in my hand. There's not a lot of power in those things, but give you a little buzz. They'll let you know that they're in your hand. Okay, get these guys loaded up here. How are we gonna do this? If you noticed, I loaded that side heavier because my bike's leaning this way. And the last bit I put in here will be to equal it out. Always load this side last. It loads like this, right? Makes sense, yeah. So I got my handy dandy bungee cord. Probably gonna do something like this. You know what? I could probably safely take at least one of those units there, and I think like two of them there, something like so. Be careful. This is not recommended at all. I do not recommend anyone do this. I've been doing this for a long time, so it's kind of dangerous. All right, get the rest of this loaded up, get down the road. Scrapyard is hopping. "24 minutes before closing." Yikes. Busy.
Not before they close.
That's a 24-minute load right there. Hey, you know what? I actually don't need to do that. Well, I was gonna take that copper brass. Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna forget about that brass. I got this load all packed up. I didn't show it to you, did I? There it is. There it is. That's what it looked like. So I have this bungee cord here. When you got a heavy load like this, not that I'm recommending this, but this is what keeps it safe. I have that load. See how it's like that on my back, right? I always want to know, particularly with a load like that would be dangerous to other people if it dumps. I always want to know where that load's at. See? It's firmly against my back, so I know where it's at and I know what it's doing. I can detect any wiggle left or right instantly, so that's really important on a two-wheeler. When it's a light load, it doesn't really matter, but when it's a heavy load, and you need to be one with the load, right? So essentially, when it's pressed up against my back like that, it's basically my body weight, right? You don't want a heavy load too far back that way, probably past the axle. It'll get all wiggly, super dangerous. But anyways, definitely not recommended. Don't do as I do. They're super busy. I've never seen them that busy right before close, so I didn't want to mess around with the brass. I would have got a pound or two of brass up there if I cleaned them up, but wow, look at this place. Sheesh. Wow, I've never seen so much metal here before, ever. Wowzers. I don't think I'm driving that way. I don't think I can make it through there. Look at that truck. Ford F-150. Look at it. What a semi cab. Look at that. I've never seen so much metal back here. Lots of times when I come here, if you haven't watched my videos, I'll sort stuff out in a bucket, but that load was ready to go, so, except for the brass. I should have taken the brass off. Well, it's close on time and stuff, so. Look at this. Check this out. I think it's a bird cage. A parrot. It might be a parrot cage. What do you think? Not a parrot cage, a parrot shipping container. What do you think? Some kind of animal shipping container. That's a nice one too. That's built good. That's pretty cool. Some of the nicer stuff they get, or sellable stuff, they bring in here and sell it. This little fish trap right there.
We can get $2.25 a piece.
Could be a Tasmanian devil cage.
Yeah, most of these little flows you see, they'll say
$35.80. Let's see what the weight was. What does that say? 94 pounds, electric motors. 30 cents a pound. Hey, the menu says 25 cents a pound. $28.20. I had 1 pound of dirty brass I was able to get out of there real quick. 75 cents. 1 pound clean aluminum. That was those broken case off a couple of the motors, and some aluminum piping that came out of there. 1 pound 35 cents. 40 pounds of aluminum breakage. That was all the sieves or sieves or however you pronounce it. Shoot, aluminum breakage is only 10 cents a pound. I thought it was higher than that. $4. 4 pounds 10, 5 cents a pound, 20 cents. And 2 pounds of insulated copper wire, $1.15, $2.30, $35.80. Not a bad load. So I had what, I have 3 more motors, two more motors waiting for me back home, and a little bit more, so probably another, maybe another $10, $45, about $45 for all 9 of those oxygen machines. That's not bad. $45 divided by 9 is $5. So each one of those oxygen machines scrapped out was $5 roughly. Each one of those machines is a $5 bill. Now we know. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed this little video. I hope someone learned something new. I hope everyone else enjoyed it like I just said. And as always, thanks for watching.